Hello, and thanks for joining us. Well, here in the Cascade Pacific Council of Scouting America, we believe that training is really important. Training for you adults. And why is that important? Because the kids deserve it. They deserve you to have you as a trained adult leader. And what that means is that there are courses that you can take to become a trained adult leader. Now, we're also talking about youth protection training. So, you adults who are involved with scouting or you do overnight adventures, you are required to be youth protection trained. So, we're going to talk a bit about that today. But also, there are courses specifically for leaders, and we call it position specific training for different leadership positions. And so, we're going to dive into that today. And today I have Michelle Baumann, who is our Eagle and Advancement Coordinator. She knows everything about advancement and getting your Eagle. And so she's the one you call if you have questions about such things. And so she's going to walk us through my.scouting.org. That's where you log in. That's where you take your training courses. That's where you update your registration information and things like that. So if you have a kiddo in the program or you're involved in the program, you have created a my.scouting.org a login for that. So we're going to show you a little bit of an overview about that, and then we'll dive into how to take your training courses and run reports and things of that nature. But first, I want to introduce Michelle to you. Just say howdy there, Michelle.
Hello.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, first tell us a bit about yourself and how the heck you got involved with scouting and how long you've been doing this stuff.
Well, I'm a third generation Oregonian. I've been with the council for 33 years. My father was a former assistant scoutmaster when it was the Columbia Pacific Council. And I started out as the male person here at this council and have worked my way up.
That is awesome. That's great. Well, as we said earlier, is that she is our processor for Eagle Scout advancement. All these people call her all the time about advancement questions. But before all of that, you really need to get trained up. So that's what we're going to show you today. So let's dive into your computer and you can show us a little bit about my.scouting, where to kind of find stuff, why it's important, and then we'll talk more about how to take courses and such. So let's check that out.
All right. So the first thing you need to do is log into my.scouting. If you have issues logging in, you can't log in, please contact me at the office, my email address, or drop me a line and call me, and I'll be happy to help you to get into the system because this is the system that helps you renew your positions and to take your training. So it's important to get in here. So once you log in, you'll see these tabs here at the top. The first one is My Profile. And if you click on here, I'm just going to scan just a little bit, scroll down. It lists all your personal information, your address, your telephone number, and your name. It also lists your positions. It allows you to print a membership card. We need to make sure at renewal time that you have one primary address, one primary phone number, and that your email address is correct, and that they are flagged with the U.S. flag, especially the telephone numbers. So this is where your personal information lives. If we go back, my account is where you can reset your password if you'd like to do that. To get into my.scouting, my application is where you will go in to renew your position. It also lists the positions that you have and gives you the option to renew. And if you have youth, it allows you to transfer and multiple your youth or yourself. My training is what we'll be exploring today. It lists your youth protection training. It also lists the trainings that you've taken, and it gives you shortcuts to take your position-specific training.
And there's also some buttons there on the right, right? Those images there. What are those? Yeah, scrolling
These here?
down. Yeah.
Yes, these are also training. This is also access to the youth protection training. This is access to the catalog. This is for the units. This is recruitment materials, the diversity training. They can update their pins so that people can get the right information of where their scout unit is. And if you're in exploring, and also sign up to get information from the national office. So that's what these boxes are. And here is information about renewal that you can access.
Right. And ScoutingU, just for those who don't know, we're going to kind of dive into a little bit of that today, but that is where a whole ton of courses are. We're just going to touch on that today, but I would really recommend folks, after you go through this, go and poke around in there because there's just a plethora of really great courses and classes you can take. But let's go ahead and dive into the training part.
Okay. So we click on My Training. The very first thing that you will see is you will see your youth protection training at the top of the screen. You'll see when you took it, when it expires. It gives you the option to print a certificate if you need that for an outing. It gives you the option to click on here to retake the course when you need to do that. And there's also a Spanish version. Here is a little packet of information on how to get in there, what it looks like, and what are the different screens you'll encounter and what to do. On your left, you'll see this menu here. The requirements tab is basically according to the positions that you are trained in. It will list them here at the top, and it will also provide shortcuts to the trainings that you need. And by clicking on one of these, it'll take you directly into that training where you can enroll in that and take it.
And what's really great if you haven't been here before is you can actually see how long each of these pieces of a course or the courses themselves actually take when you're diving into it right there, which is really, really nice.
The last tab is completions. This lists all the trainings that you've taken, and when you do take a training course, it'll show up right here so that you can print a certificate so that you can show your leaders that you've taken that training.
And speaking of leaders knowing that you've taken the training, leaders may have to find a report. How would you even know if somebody has taken training or not?
Well, to find that report, you would first click on your unit, then you would go to Training Manager, and I'm just going to use the council here. You'll see this dashboard when you click into Training Manager. It'll show you here on this side the trained leaders, the percentage that are trained, and those that are not trained, and then it will allow you to run a report by clicking on Report. And this will list the people that are registered in your unit. It will then list their information, and then on the last part of it, it will list their YPT, if they've taken it or not. It will list the courses that they've taken in their classroom, what they need to take, and then this is their online training. And we will provide links to the lists of what these codes are so that you can know what they are.
Gotcha. Yes, because there's a lot of funky codes there you wouldn't
Yes.
know, but it all really connects to the courses that are important for each individual to take.
Yes.
And really, why we're doing this is, as you saw on that last screen with the council, there's a lot of red there, which means a lot of folks are not trained. And so what we say is that every scout deserves a trained leader. And so our real objective here is to try and get all of you trained up because it's really important. There's lots of great material, whether you're advancement chair or you're a cub master or assistant scoutmaster. All of it is it's really great stuff that is really important and will help you really improve how you run your scout unit.
Yes, it does. And especially with youth protection training, we want to make sure that our scouts are safe. And so it's important that everybody gets youth protection trained as well as position specific trained.
And let's go back to the home page here. Can parents or adults who do not have a position but they've registered as members, can they take training as well?
Yes, they can take youth protection training. They can get access to the catalog and take those specific trainings as well.
That's great. And we do know, like, everybody who is actually doing overnights with scouts, for instance, you have to do youth protection training. But even if you're not planning on that yet, or you just want to dabble, there are lots of courses here. Let's actually, can we go to those just to see? So that Scouting University, tell us what you're able to choose from here.
Well, you can select by program: Cub Scouting, Scouts BSA, Venturing, Sea Scouting, Exploring, Wood Badge courses. It kind of breaks it up in those components.
Nice.
You can also create a learning plan for yourself by loading these trainings. You create a learning plan. And there's also courses regarding chaplain training, charter organization rep, unit commissioner training. So there's quite a lot to choose from. Venturing training.
And you can see on these how long each training
Yes.
actually takes, which is kind of nice if you're thinking, oh, that sounds like a fun training. Oh, wait, I don't have 4 hours to spend. But some of them are short too.
Yes, and it allows you to visit each one so you can get an idea of what is involved in the training, that how many modules there are, how long each module is before you enroll in the training.
Nice. Why don't you pick one and go ahead and click enroll? And just out of curiosity, we'll just give kind of folks a lay of the land here.
So it tells me after I hit enroll that I've enrolled in this program. And so then it'll allow me to start on each program, each module. And it basically goes to the next screen where I can take it.
And they've all got video elements to
Mm-hmm.
them, and usually have a quiz and things of that nature. Some might
Yes.
have downloadables. But then once you've taken the course, go ahead and go back and let's see where they would actually see that one more time. So let's imagine you've taken a chartered organization representative course.
Mm.
Where would they see that if they needed to show that? Let's show that one more time.
They would see that under my training and completions. This where it will list all the trainings that they've taken and including the individual components. It'll give them the date they took it and the date it expires.
Nice. So we've talked about merit badge counselors as well. This is where they would see that too. Really, any
Yes.
position that they've or any course they've actually taken will actually show up here. That's great. Awesome. Well, anything else we need to share, or any other tips or insights that you have? Actually, here's a question for you. What if do I have to take the course all at one time?
No, you don't have to take it all in one time, but for especially youth protection training, there is I believe it's a 30-day window that if you start it, you have 30 days to complete it. Otherwise, you have to start all over again.
Oh, that's definitely good to know. And I think that they do save, right? Every course that if you're taking a course, it will actually kind of save as you're
Yes.
going. Okay, that's
Yes.
great.
And here's also another place where you can go to go into the catalog by program. Is also a shortcut.
Nice. Awesome. And they are, like I said, they're great. It really is interesting. There's so many classes in there and courses and trainings that if you're just interested, whether it was doing advancement or a merit badge counselor, you can poke around and go in there and try and take some of the courses. It's really great content and material, and will just help you become a great leader. So that's great. Okay, any other tips that we need to know? Anything else we need to know about My.Scouting?
No, that's basically it. Just visit it, go in, make sure you can log in, make sure that you're opted into renewal, make sure that your personal information, your address, your telephone number is correct. And hopefully, by doing all that, you'll be able to get through the renewal process.
Excellent. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Michelle. Really appreciate your time here. And if you guys have any questions, we'll put Michelle's contact information here in this piece, wherever it's posted, so you'll see that. And we will have more how-tos later on. Thanks so much.